And we've got lots more football coming away this weekend as part of the big weekend on Sky Sports. It's Newcastle against Nottingham Forest. That is so exciting now, that race for Champions League football, particularly after Villa picking up the 3 points today against Chelsea. 1 o'clock for all the build-up to that, and now it's Manchester City against Liverpool with added spice, because earlier today, in what will be the game of the day after we come off air, Arsenal were beaten 1-0 at home by West Ham. You can see that next on Sky Sports Premier League, and this is what Mikel Arteta said afterwards.
I'm talking about the standards of the players and the team that we play today, me included, and that wasn't nowhere near the levels that we have to hit to have the opportunity to win a Premier League. Today, no. We were very consistent, yes, but football is about what you do today, and today, nowhere near. It's not in our hands. So for me, I'm really, really annoyed of the things that are in our hands that we didn't do as well as we possibly could, and that's the performance and the result today.
Well, there are 2 ways you can approach it that we've seen historically when managers are in a title race. Either you're trying to take the heat out of the situation and just calm the players down, or you're trying to put a rocket up them. And that sounds like that's where Mikel Arteta's going with this.
Yeah, and I think it's an honest appraisal, isn't it, of the game, really, because they're the closest ones that can try and catch Liverpool. I didn't dream that they would go the end of the season unbeaten. I thought they were going to be dropping points, which is what they've done today, just because of a few factors, of a winning mentality, of the striker scenario. But it's a hard one that for Mikel Arteta, because he had to go in there and state what's happened today, but also try and keep spirits and momentum high because they've still got games to go. So, but it's a true reflection of where they're at the moment.
Is it about the timing of this defeat by West Ham as much as anything, and the level of performance following on from a period of games in which Liverpool were held to a draw in the Merseyside derby? It was a really narrow, nervy win against Wolves, who are a team who are just outside the bottom 3 in the Premier League, and then there was the midweek draw against Aston Villa. Is it about the timing?
Yeah, I think so more than anything. I think he would have looked at it, and also with Liverpool's next games in terms of Man City and then Newcastle the week after, or the next game, him going, if we can get a win here today and really put a bit of pressure on Liverpool, and then what happens, obviously, it's out of their hands with what goes on with Liverpool. But I just think it's a tough one for him to swallow, and he likes being in control. He likes having that winning mentality. I think he's showing signs now and glimpses that is this squad really up for winning a Premier League title.
And the other thing that's interesting about that is that as much as we're looking potentially at that game against Newcastle in midweek as being tricky, that's the night in which Arsenal are off to Nottingham Forest. Then they've got Manchester United. They don't have... And look, take away Manchester United's position in the table and some of the performances that we've seen, it's still on paper a tricky fixture.
Yeah, and you could see, we watched the game earlier on, we watched the whole game, and they're searching. Mikel Arteta is searching for the right formation, the right personnel. He tried last week with Sterling. Mourinho comes on up scoring 2 goals. Right, that's the answer. We found that he's going to do it again today. It didn't work for them. They're certainly missing Bukayo Saka. We all know that. But I don't think I've enjoyed watching them as much as I have done in previous years this year. I think they've been a tough watch. I've never really seen that fluidity, the movement, the excitement about their play. They've got sort of bogged down with set pieces and everything's about that. And it's been a tough watch for them, you know, and especially this year where they would have felt, you know, with Manchester City struggling so much, they thought this is our opportunity, you know, and they've really not taken it. And I know they've got injuries, but you can see he's bringing Declan Rice off at the end of with I don't know how many minutes to go, but he's bringing him off in the game. He can't find that rhythm in the team that he wants. And this is a time, and especially the last few years, he's got in his own way at times, you know, and he's sort of trying to do it and he wants to win so much and he's getting a little bit too nervy. That then transmits to the fans. I think they've just got to try and stay calm and just get some rhythm. Forget Liverpool right now. Just make sure that they start getting some rhythm, winning some games. And you said they got Nottingham Forest in midweek. I mean, I couldn't think of a tougher place to go right now. That's really difficult for them. They've got to find a way. They've got to go to Anfield as well. But it
might well be that he's looking at that, you know, bringing Declan Rice on, as you said, I think it was 56 minutes where he made the change. It might well be thinking about, I've got tough fixtures coming up, and
sending off some Costum as well, Kelly, this year, and we can all
Miles
talk
Lewis
about
Skelly set off in the game against
some of them have
West Ham.
been, you know, But there's not been many of them. There's been a lot of it's been self-inflicted, I think, when I look at Arsenal, and it's very easy to blame everyone else. But the performances fundamentally haven't been good enough so far. And Steve is absolutely bang on. There's no way that Liverpool are going to stay unbeaten from now on. There's no way that Arsenal are. So it's just a case for Liverpool right now of just looking and taking, like, this is a huge opportunity for them. Can they take it? Make sure they stay calm. They've got so many options off the bench, which is obviously the complete opposite to what Arsenal have got from an attacking point of view. But right now, Liverpool are in an incredible position. They've just got to make sure that they just stay calm. And I was talking to the manager the other day, Arne Slot, and he was, just how I, was doing. And now obviously
just socially,
very socially. There he is there. Like, I'm a bit handsy with him, but that's fine.
But no, you went up to speak to Arne Slot and Virgil van Dijk,
like, give him a little pat on the back as well.
Longer versions of that as part of the build-up to the game against Manchester.
But this was after it was after the Aston Villa game, so I didn't quite know what I was going to be walking into, because it's a Thursday morning after. I got in there at 9 o'clock, wasn't sure what the kind of feeling was going to be. I'd love to have done the interview now, because they'll be so excited. But they were great.
But even then, how did you get?
I got a real feeling of, like, there is a calmness about him. I mean, Virgil's never flustered, is he? He's such a cool, calm character. So, and even the manager, I have to be honest, like, forgetting football, because we talk about a lot of managers and what they're like as a human being. But take it aside from that, the manager was such a nice man. That's the one thing that I took away from it. I was like, wow, what a good guy. He loved his football. Just talking. Once the cameras had stopped rolling, I thought, you're a good guy. You're a nice man. Managers, my dad was a manager, yours was. A lot of them have egos. A lot of them can be difficult.
They can be tricky.
They can be tricky,
And we can say that.
We know that. And they can be a little bit complex. But I got the feeling he's just a really nice guy, and he's doing a great job. And I think Liverpool just have to stay calm and keep doing the business.
Having said all of that and all those things that are in Liverpool's favour ahead of the game tomorrow, it's not been a perfect season. It's not been a season of perfect performances. No. It's not been one of those Manchester City usually led seasons in which are pushing 90-odd points to try and win the league. The game tomorrow is a really interesting one, because Liverpool are coming off a couple of below-par performances. Manchester City have gone out of Europe in midweek, but they've preceded that with that big win against Newcastle, who themselves were off form. It's really hard to gauge which way that one goes.
Yeah, and I think it takes a little bit of pressure off today with Arsenal's result today, going here that they don't really need to get a win. A draw will probably be good enough as well. But they've just shown signs of real robustness. We've been blessed the last few seasons of the Man Cities and Liverpools and even Arsenal's to an extent of the way that they've performed. Whereas I think this season, it's not just all been about the glitz and the glam and the goals and the good play. There's been signs where who's prepared to want it the most. And I think Liverpool sit top of the pile because they've shown more glimpses than anybody else.
Yeah.
Steve, Jamie, time for talking is nearly done.
Time for the boxing, Kel. I want to get and watch Better Be Evan Bivol, if you don't mind.
You're very excited about that
Looking
one,
forward to that one. That'd be a great fight.
You've already missed some of the big fights as well on the undercard, but we've been very grateful of your company, keeping you away from the boxing this evening. Thank you to Jamie. Thank you very much to Steve. Still to come this weekend, there's a huge Super Sunday. First of all, it's Nottingham Forest against Newcastle, and then it's the big one, Manchester City against Liverpool.